Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the first trading week of May 1st through May 5th, where in part 2 we'll talk about our top swing trading stocks to watch. We'll talk about what individual stocks, tickers we're putting on our watch list for this week. We'll look at ETFs. We'll look at our dividend payers, our option strategies, etc. So we've got a lot to cover. So we'll get started. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for this week. These Google documents are publicly accessible. You can find a link to this Google document in the description box below. Our notes documents contain links to bonus videos, all the resources and tools that we use to do our stock analysis, etc. We store our Google documents with our notes for our weekly trading game plans in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder. And you can also find a link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below, so you can refer back to these notes and or notes from our previous weekly trading game plans. Welcome to Ricky Kahn, Tony Rosas, Walter Lyons. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope you're doing well. So if you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled One More and Done for the Fed, we would highly recommend you also view that, as it contains all of our market analysis, our strategies, etc. And we discuss trading around the Fed interest rate decisions upcoming this week. So again, we'd highly recommend you view that. You can access it via the links in our notes as well. So we'll talk about a few trades that we made this week. The first is we sold a cash secured put against Generac. Generac's the generator company. We sold it at 85 strike price for the May 19th expiration date for $330. So we'll look at the chart. Generac's been declining significantly, so we put it essentially below the 52-week low. We'll attempt to buy that back cheaper, or again, we can just let that expire worthless, or, we'd be happy to get Generac going into hurricane season at that low price. We also bought METC. METC is a coking coal play. We've been talking about the sector rotations in and out of coal for some time. We've been watching METC for a while, and you see we went long on METC at 8 on the 27th, and we'll take a look at the chart in a second on METC. So just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get real-time alerts for whenever we enter or exit any of these trades, any level of our Patreon gives you access to email notifications, and also I'll show you the alerts channels in our BeachBum Trading Community Discord server, where our Patreons have access to our alerts. So as you can see, we have a couple alerts channels that our Patreon members have access to. And I'll put the link up in the banner to our Patreon as well. Again, any level of our Patreon will give you access to the alerts, as well as our watch list channel that I'll talk about in a minute. And you can see when we sold that cash secured put on Generac, we posted to the trade alerts channel. And then also when we went long METC, we posted that. So you also have access to our Thinkorswim automated alerts. So we set price targets in Thinkorswim. When those get hit, it will automatically post an alert to the Thinkorswim alerts channel. And then if we follow that up with a trade, as you can see we did with METC, we got alerted when it hit our price target, and then we went long when it met our criteria for going long in METC at 8. So again, we don't recommend anyone blindly follow us or anyone else into trades, but if you'd find it helpful to see when and what we're entering trades, you can get that information via any level of our Patreon. Welcome, Ollie in the Bay. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well as well. So we'll just briefly look at those charts a second. See, here's Generac, GNRC. I'm in the stock screen of the online browser version of Webull, the primary platform that we use for the majority of our trading. So you can see the low on Generac is about 86. We sold that cash secured put at 85. So it has bounced back a little bit since then. So we'll see if we get an opportunity to buy it back cheaper, or again, we can let it expire worthless or buy Generac at 85. See, it's got plenty of upside. Here's METC. See, it's been in decline. We can see it's got several touches at that 802 level, which is where we set that thinkorswim price alert when that triggered. And then we just looked for that entry point when METC bottom, swung back up, broke the VWAP. You can see it's declined back down to that line, but as we saw, that $8 line is a pretty good support level. We've got near-term upside into the $10, 1086 or so, 1097 level, and then we've got a longer-term upside into the 17s. So again, we're looking, we've been talking about that sector rotation in and out of coal. We saw it was rotating out, so we bought METC. If we get a strong rotation back in, we'll scalp METC and then rinse and repeat. If it happens to swing longer term, then, we'll put our stop in underneath the price and ride it up for a longer term swing if that's what we can get. So now we'll look at our real-time watch list items for this week. And then we'll jump over and look at the charts as well. So the first one we've had on our watch list for a while, we've been talking about the sector rotation in and out of uranium. Last week we went long on UROY. We're still long on UROY. We've also been watching DNN in our real-time watch list. So that's another play for the sector rotation into uranium. I probably should have bought that at $1, as you'll see. I missed it and it's bounced back up. We've been talking about the opportunity in potash, so we've been watching IPI. We'll see that's broken down, so we're still keeping an eye on that. You can hear our discourse on potash stocks via the bonus link to this short video in the notes here. Again, we're already long METC. There's probably still an opportunity if you wanted to get into that. We've been talking about OPP as a fixed income bond fund, pays a nice monthly dividend. We'll look at the chart, and we've talked about when we want to get in OPP. We're going to take SOXS off of our watch list. SOXS has already run up. As we discussed yesterday, I think that entry into that trade is over, although those that are still in SOXS, there may be more room to run in SOXS. We talked about that AMD, I think, has earnings this week. So, watch the reaction around AMD earnings. That might be the point at which you want to take your profits in SOXS if they have a positive surprise. If you'd like to get more frequent updates to our watch list, our Patreon members also have access to a daily automatically generated web page that contains our price targets for all the stocks on our watch list, on our bullpen, etc., as well as information about dividends, their dividend percent, yield, ex-dividend dates, whether the symbol's optionable, etc. And then if I make any intra-week updates to our watch list, then I post that in a stocks watch list channel in our Discord, which our Patreon members also have access to. So we'll talk about our puts ROIC Google Sheet in a little while, and you'll see I'm removing one from that Google Sheet, and I posted that in the watch list as well. So again, if you'd like to get more frequent updates as well as price targets to our watch list, joining any level of our Patreon will give you access to that. Welcome, Easy Mike. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, MD. Good to see you too. So let's look at the charts in Webull for the items on our main watch list. Again, these are the items that we're watching real time. I have automated systems that monitor these stocks and notify me if they're close to their buy price or they're moving up, moving down, etc. So we see DNN. Again, I was looking for it down at this 90Y. I have a buy where they're sitting at 92. I probably should have bought it at $1 as it bounced off that dollar point and has since run up. Again, with the rotation that we saw back into uranium, DNN's run up. They also had some positive news come out. It didn't move initially, so I thought maybe I'd get that cheaper price, but now it looks like it's run up a little bit. We get a rotation back out of uranium. Again, $1 would be pretty good, and it's got upside into the 140s, 150s level. Here's IPI potash. We can see it's been declining. It did dip below my target price of about $25.25 and then bounced pretty quickly off of that. So we'll see if we get another just dip. It looks like, that 25 area is a pretty good support level. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a pullback and then we'd go long on IPI. OPP is the fixed income bond fund. You see it really bounced off of that 824 level. I was looking for it, or at 795 or below. We didn't get down that far, and then it's significantly bounced up. Their next ex-dividend date, their last one was 4/13, so their next one's probably about 5/13. So I've got a couple weeks to enter and collect that monthly dividend on OPP. So it's sensitive to Treasury bond prices and yields. So we'll see if we get a reaction around the Fed interest rate decision. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to enter OPP a little bit lower and collect that dividend for next month. Next, we'll look at our bullpen stocks. Let me grab a drink a second. Okay, so anybody that's new to our channel, the concept of the bullpen stocks are not ones that we're watching real time, but we visit them at the end of each day. They look like they might present an attractive setup in the near future, and I look at them at the end of the day. If they do look like a better setup, then we put them in the game, move them up to our main watch list. If they break down or run away, then we just take them out of the bullpen. But again, I'm not watching them real time. I just look at them at the end of each day. We're adding MP Materials. MP Materials broke down on a number of downgrades. We like MP in general, the basic concept of rare earth materials. You can hear our past due diligence video on MP Materials via the link in the notes here, and we'll take a look at the chart in a second. PDI is another nice monthly dividend payer. It's a closed-end fund. It lasts for next dividend on the April 12th. We'll see where that is. I believe it's already run up as well. And then another uranium stock that we've been watching to play that sector rotation in and out of uranium is UUUU. And we'll take a look at the chart in that also in a second. Okay, so another nice thing about Webull is you can have any number of watch lists. So you just flip over to our bullpen watch list. I see Easy Mike's talking about lithium. Yeah, we're going to talk a little, maybe if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about lithium, look at some of the lithium ETFs. So here's MP Materials. You see a major decline. Again, it had a number of price downgrades. We're kind of looking for it to find a bottom. It's broken down, through its previous support levels, and I'm just waiting to see, where is it going to establish a new support level, a new bottom. Right now it's unclear as to where that bottom's going to be. So once OP does establish a bottom, then that might be something that will move up to the main watch list and or take a position in. It's got nice upside, so up into the 40s potentially, even above 35, so plenty of upside. And again, it's a U.S.-based rare earth mining, and the talk about, freedom from China in terms of rare earths, etc. And again, you can hear more about that in that due diligence video I've done in the past. Here's PDI that closed-end fund. You see it really bounce. So right now it's bounced back up to, previous level. It's still a little bit below that pivot point, significantly above, my ideal price target. So we'll see if we get another reversal in PDI and be able to collect that dividend. Again, it pays 22 cents monthly, and the last ex-dividend was on April 12th. So we should have about to May 12th to see if we can get an entry point into PDI. UUUU. Get another uranium play. You see it made a strong run off that bottom. And it's been kind of hovering between the support and the pivot point there. So we've been, it's been in our bullpen for a while. Again, we see that strong run with the sector rotation into uranium. So we'll keep an eye and see if we get a pullback on a rotation back out. Just another opportunity to play uranium. Those are the three we like the best: DNN, UROY, and UUUU. And again, we have a previous video about uranium stocks and why we prefer those. So you can see that video on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Okay, so now we'll talk about our ETFs. We'll look at lithium. Easy Mike's talking about natural gas. Oh, yeah, that's great that you got in DNN. It had a nice run. Ricky Khan, congratulations on that. UROI right now is up a little bit, so we'll see if that continues as well. So we'll look at our ETFs, our ETF Google Sheet. Again, I've released several videos that we've talked about before about financial sectors, gold and silver, real estate, etc. Again, I wanted to look at BATT, which is another lithium ETF. We've got a couple of those. And yesterday, for the past several weeks, we've been talking about this sector rotation in and out of steel. So I wanted to start to do some research and see if I could find an ETF, some opportunities to play that sector rotation in steel. Not 100% complete with that research, but I did find one ETF to play steel long, which is SLX. And we'll take a look at SLX in a second. Actually, I'll bring the FinViz chart up since I've got that. I'll probably do a separate video about how I go about finding ETFs for a particular commodity, since finding one for steel was a little bit tricky. But you can see it's relatively high from its recent time. But I'll show the risk reward also in our ETF spreadsheet in the research tab that I use to do this. So it's relatively high right now, but we can see it's been as low as in the 20s or below. So if we see a strong rotation out of steel, maybe SLX, that's probably going to be one that we might use to watch for opportunities in steel. So let me bring up our Google Sheet, and then we'll go through it. If anybody has any other categories in the chat that you'd like to look at in terms of ETFs, we can go through that. Just a reminder that our All Access and VIP Patreons have access to this ETF Google Sheet all the time. and it is automatically updated both by Google Finance functions, which are near term, near real term. There's about a 20-minute delay. So the pricing is automatically updated, and then the support, resistance, and top and bottom values are automatically updated at the end of day by our automated system. So if you identify, a sector rotation opportunity or a commodity index, etc., you want to play, this is the great way to find which ETFs can you use to play that particular trade idea, long or short. So we talked about lithium batteries. We see, we've talked about China up and down. This is kind of interesting. There was, the 420 thing. We're looking at MJ and MSOS for cannabis, but they don't really look stable. They look like they're steadily declining, even though they popped above their descending trend line recently. I've been looking for some agricultural opportunities, but again, corn's not too bad. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on corn, wheat, etc. There's the FANGs. You see FANG D is not quite where we want it in terms of risk reward yet. DBA, I've been looking at that for agricultural products, but again, it's still significantly above its low. We talked about gold and silver before. Let's look at the lithium. So we've got a couple for lithium. There's BATT and LIT. Part of what Easy Mike was talking about is Chile has put a restriction on lithium mining, that all new lithium mines are going to be government controlled. There's fear that that will restrict the global supply of lithium. Obviously, with EVs, etc., there's a high demand. So I was kind of I'm watching that BATT as a potential opportunity. Or again, there's LIT, which has also got a pretty good risk reward profile. So again, keeping an eye on those, see if those might present an attractive opportunity to play lithium. Natural gas, we talked about all the time. Cold, short, boil long. You see boils up a little bit. Natural gas kind of sitting between 2 and 3 right now. Oil, drip and gush, or UCO and SCO. If oil does break down below 75, down towards 70, our favorite play is to go long USOI, which is Credit Suisse monthly dividend paying ETN. So I'm watching that to see if we do get that breakdown in oil, then I would look at USOI as a play long on oil and to collect a nice dividend. Yeah, Easy Mike Kramer was talking about this lithium play as well. So that may have been the impetus that caused me to start to look at potential opportunities. See the Russell, both sides of the Russell are showing opportunities. We talked about SOX S and SOX L. Been talking about silver. Solar, we talked about yesterday that, solar is probably pretty done for now. First Solar had bad earnings. I think there's major downgrades in that sector. Again, I think that sector is probably done for now. Kind of watching the treasuries. There are a couple ETFs for uranium, but as you can see, they're not terribly attractive right now. They're, significantly up. I was looking at this utility, but it wasn't down near its support level either, but we saw that rotation out of utilities. And then we're still long UVXY. Again, I've been looking at wheat, but again, it's a little bit above support. The risk reward profile is not terribly attractive on it unless it gets down, below 5. So, okay, so if anybody wants to look at any other ETFs, please throw it up in the chat a second. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and continue. Okay. So our shopping list, again, if you're new, the concept of a shopping list is we recommend you have a list of stocks that you want to buy, given the opportunity, given that we're in the middle of a heavy earnings season. You might get an irrational reaction to earnings. We might get an irrational reaction to the Fed interest rate hike. Might give you an opportunity to grab those stocks that you always wanted to buy. So again, we recommend you have your shopping list ready. However, some caveats in terms of, what we recommend. Again, not financial advice. We're not financial advisors, but we would recommend, you cull your shopping list for anything that might suffer from the fallout from the bank collapses. Again, my expectations is as of tomorrow, FRC will be gone, either taken over by a larger bank or in FDIC receivership. So again, make sure you're not vulnerable to the fallout of any of those bank collapses or any subsequent bank collapses. We've been talking about zombie stocks. Again, you're hearing of more bankruptcies. Bed Bath & Beyond. There was another retailer I wasn't familiar with that's going bankrupt. We're going to see more and more of these companies as interest rates go up and they're barely able to service their debt. They're going to go bankrupt. So again, you don't want to get caught with one of those stocks. And also, we've been talking for a long time, the expectation of some kind of recession by the end of 2023. Again, now the Fed in their last minutes, they said, yeah, they expect a recession by the end of 2023, but we're not going to technically know about that we're in it probably until fourth quarter of 2023 because Q1 GDP was still positive, and technically it requires 2 quarters of negative GDP for them to announce that, yes, we are in fact in a recession. So we'll look at our dividend payers. Again, our strategy, given that we've been in a range-bound, choppy market, we have 2 strategies for generating additional income, getting paid while you wait for the markets to trend. One of those strategies is piling into dividend payer stocks. I saw Easy Mike talked about several: LAND, JEPI, JEPQ, and we'll take a look at each of those. Just a quick reminder, again, our All Access and VIP Patreons have access to this dividend payers. Again, this gets automatically updated by our automated systems as well. Also, I identified a number and I've added a couple new ones to our dividend payers. The first that we're adding is CRT, which is Cross Timbers Royalty Trust. So I'll just pop the diagram of that. You can see CRT. So we can see, it's got some decent range, decent opportunity for price appreciation. We see it's got about a 11.5% dividend. It's not optionable. This is a oil and gas play. So again, another opportunity to gather dividends on an oil and gas play. Again, I was looking for some opportunities in addition to USOI, and this looks like a potential attractive one. One of the risks right now with USOI is its Credit Suisse ETN. and Credit Suisse is being taken over by UBS, and there's some uncertainty as to the future of those ETNs. We've got 3 of them. We've got GLDI on gold, SOBO on silver, and I like USOI on oil, although we're not long USOI right now, so I'll be looking for some alternatives like that to play gold, silver, and oil as dividend payers. And this was one that Joseph Hogue turned us on to. So I did the research, and that looks like a good opportunity. So we've added that one. Also, Bob Sharp identified 4 others. So Duke Energy, FRT, Federal Realty Investment Trust, Getty Realty Corp, and Manulife, and I'll show you the my research on those and the risk rewards on each of those. But we'll see that the risk reward on FRT looks attractive. It's a REIT on retail. I'm not real hip on retail REITs right now, given I think, well, again, we talked about Bed Bath & Beyond. Other retailers are going bankrupt. I think that's going to hurt some of these retail space REITs. So it does have a decent risk reward. We'll see, it might present an opportunity when that retail real estate bottoms out. So we're going to add that to our dividend payers as well, as you'll see in our dividend payers sheet. If you identify anything you'd like us to do the research on, you can just let us know. You can post it in our Discord, put it in the comments under this video, etc. And we'll run our research on it and see if they present the type of risk reward profile that we're looking for. Also, before I jump over there, just a quick reminder, we also have a channel in our Discord where we get automatically notifications of dividend hikes. So as companies announce increasing their dividends in the investing channel in our Discord, you can find that information as they have dividend hikes. So we see several have announced increasing their dividends. And again, you'll automatically get that information in our Discord. And our Discord's free to join. And with the exception of the couple channels I mentioned that are Patreon only access, all the other channels are accessible for free to anyone. And you can find an invite to our Discord in the description box below. We've also got a whole series of videos on, how did we build this dividend Google sheet, how do you use it, etc. How do you find the best dividend paying stocks? So you can view all of those videos in that series via the link in our notes there. So I'll jump over to our dividend payers, and if anybody, I know some people mentioned JPI, JPQ. We'll look at CRT, what was it? CRT and FRT. Yep, CRT and FRT. Again, you can use this Google Sheet. You see the frequency of the payout. You can see what dividend they're paying out. When is the next dividend date? So you can create your own income stream, different dividend payers with whatever profile you want, whether it be the fixed dividend amount or the dividend plus price appreciation, and have a constant flow, a monthly flow of dividend payers. So here's CRT. You can see it pays an 18-cent dividend monthly. We see the price appreciation opportunity is above our 2-to-1 risk reward profile. So that's why that was one that we wanted to add to our dividend payers sheet. You can see, it's significantly above support level, so I'd want that to come down before we bought in. The last ex-dividend date was the 30th, so it probably is going to go ex-dividend, 4:30. It might be even Monday again. FCAP's a regional bank. I would stay away from that. Here's FRT, the other one we've added. So this pays a quarterly dividend of $1.08. You see it's got, near term's got positive risk reward. Again, the risk reward's not as positive right now. It's above, support level. So again, and that's the retail REIT. So I'm not too hip on FRT anytime soon. But again, since it did show a positive risk reward, it's got a pretty nice dividend. It's 15% adjusted. So if I jump over to my research tab, we can see all the ones that Joseph Hogue and Bob Sharp identified. And we can see that FRT was the only one that really had met our criteria for the risk reward near term. And you can see the risk reward bottom to top on some of the others. And the various support levels that I identified in the add tab of our Google Sheet. Again, here's CRT, so we can see it's got a pretty nice risk reward profile. So again, that one looks even more interesting. See JEPI and JEPQ that Easy Mike was talking about. You see what they pay, about 45 cents monthly. When ex-dividend 4.3, so they're probably going to go again 5.3 or so. I've been watching those guys and kind of waiting for them to come down below, JEPQ I like below 40. It doesn't move a whole lot. Here's land. We're currently long land. All the real estate's slowly making a recovery. Land only pays a 5-cent monthly, but it's got a nice price appreciation. So we're holding land more for the price appreciation than the 5-cent dividend. Here's METC. Again, it pays a dividend, 13 cents quarterly. Next ex-dividend's at the end of May. So you have an opportunity still to get into METC and get that dividend. And nice price appreciation opportunity. So here's OPP, one that we've swung before. So you can see it pays 10 cents monthly. It's got halfway decent price appreciation, but not great. PDI. I think Easy Mike was mentioning SUI the other day in a chat, so you can see that one. This is a residential REIT. You can see it pays 93 cents quarterly. It doesn't really have the risk-reward profile that I ideally would like to see, but it is close to a support level, so if you're interested in that. UAN, yeah, we've got UAN. Again, it's not really terribly close to its support level right now, but you can see it pays a sizable dividend quarterly. PXD, Easy Mike is mentioning both of those. Let me see if I've got that one. I don't have PXD. Let's see what that is. So again, you can find links to all the tools, all our social media sites, and invite to our Discord, Facebook group, Reddit community, etc., all on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. I'll put that link up in the banner as well. And again, we've got all our trading platforms, our tools, so I can quickly go over to FinBiz, look up PXD, see what that is. So an oil and natural gas company. Okay, so it's got a 10.66 dividend. So I can look at that one. So again, if you have any that you'd like us to do the research on, just, point them out like that, and I'll put them in the ad sheet, and then I'll go and look at their charts in more detail offline and look at the risk reward profiles. We can kind of see, what it's doing. It's got, support. It looks like 190 something, 195 or so. Resistance up probably 52-week high or so, 268. And it's very high right now, which it's oil and natural or oil and gas. So, but it pays, 10.66. So I'll look into that one, and we can report next week if that's one we want to add to our dividend payers. Again, you can put any others you want us to look at in the comments below, in our Discord, contact us via social media. Again, all our social media links are in the link section on our homepage. So we hope that helps. Anyone else have any others you want us to add or look at? Okay. Let me take that one down. And we'll talk about options. As you saw, we identified an opportunity with GNRC when it was declining. And we have a Google sheet to identify opportunities to sell puts. Again, our All Access and VIP Patreons have access to this all the time. I'll bring that up. We talk through some of the changes. So one of the things I did was removed match as it continues to break down. Again, when I removed that, you saw an update in our Watchlist channel. So again, all our Patreon members have access to that. If I'm making changes to our puts, you can see we had been watching Albemarle, and then we took that off, and then we were watching Service Now. We'll see that. Again, if you'd like us to look at, any put option, let us know the ticker, the strike price, etc. I can do the research on that. Our puts ROC sheet is updated by our automated systems. So I add it to the database, add it to the Google sheet, then it will pull the stats on those options and update the Google sheet automatically. So if you'd like to learn how we came about our various option strategies, how we built this put ROIC sheet, how you can use it, we have a whole series of videos we've been releasing on how we've evolved our option strategies, put together this puts ROIC sheet, how you can use it, etc. And then we have other videos on our option strategies in our options playlist. So I'll zoom this in a little bit just so we can see. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Let's see. That's not too bad. So you can see we've got a number of options that we're looking at. This is our watch list of options. You can see it identifies which stocks are moving down, which would be an opportunity to sell a put. If they're moving up, it would be an opportunity to buy it back. So you can see also I have orders out on the ones that are highlighted in yellow. So we currently have orders out on Experian, Google, Moderna, and Micron. Get Experian at 80, Google at 85, Moderna at 115, and Micron at 50. You can see the price that I have these currently set in the sell price column that we recently added, and the distance currently from that price. So I have also an automated system that looks at the bid and ask on those options and will tell me if I might want to consider lowering that sell price, or in the case of GNRC, we've got a very low buy and to buy it back cheaper, and he'll tell me, hey, maybe you want to raise the price if it's moving up and So you can see the ones we're watching all have, over $1 potential. Let's see which one. So I also updated Amazon to January 24. I want to see if that presents an opportunity. We saw Amazon's in decline. I might look at rolling these guys over to June for the ones that just aren't, the pricing's not very good. With the low VIX, we've talked about, it's kind of suppressed the premium, so I might have to go farther out unless we get a increase in the VIX. So again, if you have any others you'd like us to do the research on, I can add those to the research tab, and our systems will calculate the values and see if that's something we want to add to our watch. I've also been watching Tesla. I'm looking at the Junes. That should be a 120. And we'll see if that presents an opportunity. We've, sold puts on Tesla a couple times profitably, so we'll see if the pricing for the Junes are more attractive. So again, if there's anything you'd like us to look at in terms of options, just let us know. I've been also watching Disney to see if it would decline, but it's run back up over 100, so that's not showing attractive right now. Okay, let me grab a drink and we'll talk about answers to some of the previous questions. If anybody has any other questions that I might have missed, I apologize if I missed it, but please throw it back up in the chat, and we've got a few minutes. I can answer some questions. Okay, so a couple questions we had previously is Easy Mike had mentioned EWA as a play on Australia. So I did do the research on EWA. I'll jump back to our ETF spreadsheet, and we can look at EWA. So here's, I ran the research on EWA, so you could see what the risk reward profile looked like. It wasn't terribly, it didn't meet our criteria of, a 2-to-1 from support to resistance. Now, again, obviously any of these, if you're playing them very short term, you're not looking for, 2-to-1 or better risk reward profile. Again, from 52-week, it was only 1.32. It is over 2 bottom to top. So again, you can see that data in the research tab on our ETF spreadsheet. You can also see what we've got for SLX for steel that we're looking at. The other question we had last week was MD asked about rocket companies, RKT, and RKT is already in our database. I did kind of our standard due diligence video on RKT rocket companies, so you can see that due diligence on rocket companies via the bonus link in the notes. So again, MD, you can, or anyone else that's interested in our conclusion on is our RKT rocket companies good stock to buy now. You can listen to and see our due diligence on RKT rocket companies again via the bonus link in this notes document. So I won't spoil the conclusion to that. Again, if anyone would like us to do due diligence on a particular company, stock, etc., you can put it in the comments below. You can tag us in the Discord, just use our tag in the Discord so we're notified. BeachBum Trading in our Discord, ID 7313, accept no imposters. Again, you can contact us via our Facebook group, Reddit community, any of our social media. So if you'd like us to do due diligence on a stock, etc., or you have any other questions, or if there's anything else we can help you succeed in your trading, make money trading, that is our objective. That's why we're here. That's why we do all of this, is to help people see you can make money trading in any market. You can see we have a number of strategies, swing trading, selling or buying dividend stocks, selling and buying back puts, etc. And we'll continue to learn and evolve as we continue. So again, that's our goal, is to help people see you can make money trading in any market. And we want to help you all succeed in your trading. So we hope that you like all this information. We hope that you'll share it with your fellow traders. Please like this video. Help us get the YouTube algorithm to share our videos with more traders, etc. Again, please share this in other communities that you participate in. Tell them to come join us, in the Discord and live chats, etc. And you all can continue these discussions in our chat, in our Discord. So again, we'd love to build up our community for everyone's mutual benefit. So again, if there aren't any immediate questions, I thank you all for joining us again for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for this week. And we hope you have a great trading week, and we'll see you on the trading floor. Have a great day. Bye.